Da 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 da. Yeah, chips. Is Randall here this week? I don't know. We've been trying to do chips for 2 weeks. A couple weeks ago, he couldn't do it, and last week I couldn't do it. I was up at Mimi's dad's, and you know, that was its own thing. I somehow was able to. John Price and I were able to join John Suntress on We're Balloons Trek to say how shitty and awful Starfleet Academy was. So if you want to see what the house we stay in up when we go to visit her dad's, Mimi's dad's, you can see it there. We probably could have done chips, but it looks like Randall's not around. I can tell you what I think. So here's what happened. I love Dax Shepard. I love chips. I love it all. Oh, look. Here's Randall. Hey, Randall.
Hey, I love eating chips too.
What happened? What happened to like see you 5-10 minutes before the show so we can get everything situated? I hope you were taking like the world's worst dump because a bio break is really the only.
No. I mean, I've had.
No, man, don't worry about it. I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah.
DC Comics. How's it? Nice shirt.
Huh?
You got
Yeah. I finally
DC
found my shirt. I've been looking for it. But right. 3 days of MegaCon, and then I got screwed over at work, and today was day 10, working 10 days straight.
You do that to yourself, though, man. How was MegaCon? I mean,
it was good. It was good. It just sucks going to a convention when you're poor. You know, like I went because my buddy paid for the ticket, and he had a free Airbnb for me to stay at. So I was just like, I can't say no. Even though a part of my brain is like, I'd rather be at home working on the comic books and trying to catch up on my business, you know?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but, you know, everything's taken care of except your food, right? Your friend's being cool and you help him out. I would go.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I mean, man, when I was in LA and working at MTV, kind of whatever I was doing over there, I was broke as shit, but I got in to see all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah.
So you just sit there and go, oh, well, I guess I'm going to, you know, enjoy this fucking show at the Whiskey a Go-Go by the Cracker. And I'll just tell the girls when they come by every 15 seconds if I want to drink. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to drink. I eventually started telling them, like, no, I don't drink. And I was probably drunk at the time. I just had enough sense to get drunk at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get going out and doing stuff when you're broke, man. Don't apologize for that. Just don't say, oh, and I had to work 10 days straight, because no kidding. I just, my sister, there's something a little sassy about that is my sister just sent me a box of old pictures, and there's a bunch of me sitting in my old truck cutting granite. So, you know, shitty jobs, man. I know.
Yeah. No, they're soul crushing.
You know, no, you don't let it be soul crushing though. That's how they get you. Just fucking enjoy every little sandwich, man. When people give you shit about like, oh, my one joy in life is the McRib is back, you know, and then people give you shit, just go, oh, pal, that's my one joy in life.
Yeah.
Don't take that away from me, you fuck. And then after a while, people either leave it alone or get it. Or remember when they were broke, you know? What did all my friends do when you were crying about being broke? Oh, well, let's teach them how to cook. Let's get them a fucking toaster oven. Let's get them fried. You know, we're trying to help, man.
No, I know.
We all get it. Being broke sucks.
Yeah.
I am not going to help you at work, though. I'm not moving to Florida and like packing shit in the UPS office. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
No,
but anything else?
I don't encourage anybody to. I was talking to the UPS driver, and he says, like, of all the stores that he goes to pick up boxes, he's like, "You're the only store there's always two people closing. You're the only store. You're the only guy I know that you're closing by yourself."
Huh?
You know, and so I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is.
I think he's trying to tell you, go ahead and rip everything off. There's no one there to make sure you're being honest. You're
No, I
fine.
mean,
Just
no,
send
there's
who's noticed.
cameras. These companies, they're
I love how you thought about it. No, I would, but there's several cameras. There's no blind spot, really. You figured it
yeah.
all out. One day, somebody was shipping Jeep parts, and I realized that he's doing like the radar thing from MASH. He's like shipping parts of Jeeps back home, and I could have just done that, had my own Jeep, but I didn't. Too many cameras. Anyway. Well, okay. You want to talk about chips? Because I started talking about chips. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tell us the context under which you enjoyed the film. Like, what was your headspace going down? You're sitting down and watching, like me, for example, I'm like, oh, I've seen this already. I mean, watch it again.
I mean, it's a buddy cop movie, right? I mean, you
knew who Michael Pena was.
Of course.
Did you know who Dax Shepard is? What are you doing? You're a guy sitting down. You got your chips and your soda or whatever you're doing. You're sitting down to watch it. What are your preconceived notions? You know who Dax Shepard is. You know Michael Pena. You know who the show is. You figure, you know who Don Florio is. It's a pretty good cast.
Oh, it's a great cast. I mean, I totally forgot that Vincent D'Onofrio was in it. He's the bad guy. And I love Vincent D'Onofrio. Like you could put him in the worst movie, and in the movie he'll make the movie good. But yeah, I mean, I think I believe Dax Shepard wrote and directed this, right?
He did.
That's the thing I'm most impressed with.
Okay.
Just because, like, I always know him as sort of like either he's a side character or supporting character. He doesn't do too many like lead roles, and so for him to work with Warner Brothers and convince them like, hey, I can write and direct, and I'll make this Chips movie. And I think he, with all the people that appeared in this movie, like I think it goes to show that these people appeared because they like Dax, and they probably did him a favor and probably appeared in the movie for a very affordable price, and
that's a lot of assumptions you're making there, sir.
It is a lot of assumptions, but I mean,
actors like to act and they like to eat, and so you get paid when you act, and you can buy food to eat.
This is true.
And you can't really say that. The thing about Dax Shepard in this movie that I think is soul crushing is that it's his favorite show, like Star Trek's mine.
Yeah.
Okay? And so he works his life to the point where he's able to talk studio heads into, look, I'm your guy. I've been in Parenthood for fucking 15 years. I've directed episodes. I can do this, and I'm your guy because I love this fucking show.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to make my version of 21 Jump Street, and look what happened there. We're going to have this awesome thing, and you can just tell that everything that he might have said to get the studios to greenlight it is why the audience rejected it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, if you know what Chips is, this is a fucking horror show. Right? It's as bad as modern Star Trek is if you like old Star Trek. Because there's a whole bunch of shit that's glommed onto it that doesn't need to be there. And so if you like the old show, you're like, what the fuck is that?
If I had to make a comparison, I'd say this is up there style-wise, adaptation-wise, with the Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Okay, yeah. I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, what are those things that should have worked on paper, right? The Dukes of Hazzard, though, was like, that's bad because that's just straight up racist, right?
Well, I mean, I watched Dukes of Hazzard, the movie, because it was the...
we know why. Because Jessica Simpson had her Daisy Dukes on. That's why.
Honestly, I mean, look, she's an added bonus. She's great, but no, she wasn't the reason why.
That's literally the only reason I watched it.
I mean,
because I'm an old man and I already watched that show. I don't need to see new guys doing the old shit.
I mean, I love the guys from Super Troopers, so the fact that they were making that movie, and then I'm a fan of Sean William Scott. Johnny Knoxville, he's entertaining, but like I felt like somebody else could have played his role, and I still would have enjoyed the movie just as much.
Okay, but that's that
So
movie. Where are you on Starsky and Hutch? If we're going to go through the mid-level
well,
things,
the problem with Starsky and Hutch is that I don't think of it as Starsky and Hutch. I just think of it as Ben Stiller and Owen. It's a Ben Stiller Owen Wilson movie. That's how I see it. And because Starsky and Hutch, of course, was a more serious show, and they just took a serious show and made a comedy out of it.
but so was 21 Jump Street, and so was this,
right?
CHiPs. They're serious fucking shows.
Well, 21 Jump Street is the only one to have gotten a sequel.
Only what? Oh, the redoing the stuff. Yeah.
So that's the only quasi success that a show like that, taking something serious and making it into a comedy, has worked. From my point of view. But yeah, no, like I love Starsky and Hutch though. I mean, not the show, but the movie, because I love Ben Stiller and I love Owen Wilson.
That's the discussion I was trying to say, is you can't tell, right? Like I think the Starsky and Hutch cast is just as good as the cast of CHiPs.
Oh, better.
Maybe a little better. Yeah.
I wouldn't say a little better.
I love the Starsky and Hutch movie, but that's because I love the Starsky and Hutch show.
Yeah.
And so all the stuff I loved about Starsky and Hutch, they made fun of in a loving way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. I see that.
That's the same thing with 21 Jump Street. I mean, they fucking put Richard Grieco in the movie, right? Those are people that know what they're doing in the second one.
Was he in the second one?
Yeah.
I got to rewatch the second one.
And it's the one where they have the reason they didn't do a third one is because their end credits on the second one did the joke already.
Yeah, they did the joke, but also there was rumors that they were going to like cross over with Men in Black, and I was like, no, that's a horrible idea.
Are you kidding? That's an amazing idea. They should cross over Men in Black with the fucking Avengers, with fucking bring back Mystic Pizza and cross it over. Like, are you kidding? Get Ghostbusters and fucking fried green tomatoes together. Like, let's fucking go. Stop fucking around. Give us what we want. Anyway, but yeah, so that's the thing I think that Dax missed, and is my fear, is why I never tried to write mainstream comics, right? Because my view is just too weird, and it's anything that I would like would not be commercial, and that's what happened to Dax, right? He's like, I can take my weird sense of humor and apply it to this show that I loved when I was a boy and give us some third thing that will make us all die rich. And the only one who had that vision was Dax Shepard, because everybody around him went, yeah, I don't know what this is. It's literally like I love the Seth Rogen Green Hornet, but because it's wackadoodle, right? And it wasn't commercially successful because people didn't get Seth Rogen as a superhero is a good idea, right? He's not Batman. He's a fucking newspaper publisher, right? That has got his dad's, there's a lot of shit that is just weird. And if anybody remembered Green Hornet at all, it's from the Batman show in the 60s, right? So
well, I mean, I remember
just didn't do it. And so that's the thing with CHiPs. If you remember it at all, the new thing isn't doing it for you. Anyway.
No, I agree. Like I remember, like when it came to Green Hornet, there was always the talks of like they wanted George Clooney, and then I think they wanted to try and get Jet Li, and so they had like big money aspirations to make a big budget Green Hornet film, and then it kind of was falling apart. And then Seth Rogen, first off, Seth Rogen's a fan of all this stuff, right? Because he produced Preacher, he produced The Boys, he voices the Alan, the alien, in you know, Invincible. Like, you know, he has his hand on all of these things. Which, by the way, Seth Rogen also did a movie where Charlize Theron becomes the president, and like he starts to date her,
Yeah,
and then they get married. He becomes like the first, you know,
he's the
sir or whatever.
screenwriter.
Yeah.
What's
And what's
that
great
movie
is,
called? I saw that. That was great.
dude, my favorite part of that movie was at the end when they're doing the portraits of like all the like the first ladies, and then they get to Seth Rogen's character, and it's a portrait of him, and it's drawn by Todd McFarlane.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I was just like, I love it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm sold. Like, that was the best part of the movie.
So you're the president's husband. You're the first husband. Who are you getting to do your portrait?
Jim
Alex,
Lee.
Alex Ross, Jim Lee, huh? Okay,
Alex Ross would be great, but I mean, I'm a Jim Lee fan, so like,
Jim Lee. Huh. I'm gonna see if Walt Simonson's available.
yeah.
I don't know if he paints though. Yeah, because it has to be a painting, right?
I mean, it has to be a drawing, and you can get someone to adjust it to look like a painting.
Just do AI. I know you want to say that.
No, God.
No. So yeah, there was a lot of tropes. So the production of this movie was funny because good old Dax, like, just put his all into it, and every piece of press, he was like, "This is my life stream. I was able to write and produce and direct Chips, and everybody's been behind me and help me making my vision happen." And then it comes out, and the entire planet goes, "It's all right." Like, I'm telling you, as a guy who creates stuff for people to purchase and enjoy,
Yeah.
you love it, of course, when people love your stuff. Oh, great, thanks. You're on my team. You understand what I was getting at. That's cool. But you also love it when people hate it. It's like, that's the biggest piece of shit ever. You're like, yeah, man, I did something that makes you feel that, right? And so the thing in between that where it's just like, I could take it or leave it. It's like, no, you want people to either love it or hate it. You want an extreme reaction because like Dax was saying, he's sitting there thinking about it for years. You know, he works his career so it can happen. There's a million reasons. I say this all the time. A million reasons to say no and one to say yes. And he's got it all the way down. They say yes. He's on screen. They're filming it. He's got the day to go. He's picked out his clothes with, what's her name? Kirsten, his wife.
Kristen
Bell. And they're getting ready to go. And then everybody sits down and the audience just goes, yeah, hey, congratulations, man. You did the job, got the work done. That's great. And everybody just kind of walks out. Nobody's talking about what happens at the end. It's like a TV movie in scale, right? And it's like the best sweeps week episode of Chips in an alternate universe ever. Right? That's a lot of stuff to get to go, oh, that's the way I enjoyed it. Anyway.
No, honestly, if I were Dax, my mentality would be like, listen, there's two ways this can go. It becomes a really big hit, and I get to make more movies. Great, fantastic, then I'm happy. Or the movie doesn't perform well. However, guess what? I've made a movie. It technically shouldn't go anywhere. It's out there. It exists. Other people can watch it and enjoy it. I had a great experience making it. I had a great time with other people. So I think that's the kind of the mentality. Like, if it doesn't do well, that's okay. I had a great time, and it exists. And if it does well, then that's great. I get all of that. Plus, I get all of this. So, but no, I mean, I think it's crazy how I haven't put two and two together. Like, I forget the actor's name, the guy that's on Scrubs. But both him and Dax Shepard, I realize now there's a lot of similarities in their look, their face.
Wait, which guy on Scrubs?
He plays JD.
Zach Braff?
Zach Braff, yeah.
He looks nothing like Dax Shepard.
There's some similarities in the face.
Huh.
I don't know if you saw Dax Shepard has a podcast, and he had Zach Braff on there. And he shared a story. Zach Braff shared a story about how he went to this award show, and he got to meet He got to meet.
I'm actually. I dropped off the camera. Sorry.
That's good.
I'm fixing my scanner.
Yeah.
I am listening.
Yeah, he met Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
And Michael Fassbender was so excited to see Zach Braff, and he starts talking to him. But then he started making a couple references of stuff that Zach Braff wasn't in, and Zach all of a sudden put two and two together, and he's like, "Oh my god, he thinks I'm Dax Shepard."
Yeah, I mean that happens.
Of course, it happens, but I mean, actors doing it to other actors—that's kind of funny.
I just read some hilarious thing where somebody was mistaken for somebody else, and then they met up years later and had a really nice conversation. And then I'm parting with the guy who was mistaken goes, "Oh, at least you didn't think I'm so and so." And the first guy went, "Oh, I thought you had forgotten that." And the story was relayed like he got such a zinger at this guy for just confusing him. And it's like, hey man, like that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and in comics, dude, look, everybody's bald and has glasses and a beard. Like, if you sat me next to Kurt Busiek and Mike McNichol and fucking Bob Wayne, you know, like, let's hope nobody kills somebody because the rest of us are going to be on the police lineup, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, tall, good-looking guy, high cheekbones. I guess you're right. Sort of receding forehead. Dax Shepard's a blonde though, and Zach Braff is he's a brunette, man. And
yeah, but I mean,
Dax Shepard's like a foot and a half taller than him too.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, Dax is physically in much better shape than Zach Braff. Yeah, I mean, but when you're wearing a suit, you know, you don't really see any of that, right? Like you put on a suit, you know, you just see them in the face, and you hear them talk, you know, and it's like I kind of want a Dax Shepard and Zach Braff movie where they're playing brothers. Like I think that would be a fun. And by the way, Zach loves like making indie films, right? And Dax, I think, is the same way as well. So you put those two guys together, and I think you could have a nice like independent comedy film.
Who's the girl though? Because those two guys, I'm not greenlighting that film.
Who's the girl in the movie?
If there's a strong girl part and she's bossing them around, I'll read your script. But right now, those two guys as brothers,
yeah,
nobody.
Zendaya. We're gonna put Zendaya in the movie.
Too young for those two. That's just creep factor 5.
Yeah, that's Hollywood.
No, you can't get away with that anymore. Like those days of no, dude, no. Zendaya can only act with Tom and Timothée now, right?
She's in a movie with actually she's got 2 or 3 movies.
Okay,
with Pattinson.
Right, Pattinson. That makes sense, right? Because they look like colleagues. Dax Shepard is 50, 60 years older than her. That's just like Clint Eastwood and Rene Russo in Line of Fire. Like that movie could have been Oscar winning, and you just spend the whole time going, "Sorry, Clint, I don't see it." Although John Malkovich is great in that.
Oh yeah, that movie.
I'm not trying to sell it. Oh, here we go. Twins reboot. The Accountant spoof movie. Yeah, I don't know. The Accountant's funny enough because of the guys.
I don't see. I think Zach Braff's a little too proud to do spoof films. That's why I don't see him doing that.
Yeah, the guy that spent 15 years doing Scrubs, he's not going to do anything spoofy. Come on, man.
No, not movie wise. He's just going to stick to television for that.
Well, then he gets to stick to television. Sorry, Zach.
Yeah.
What? So anything about this? Or it was just I don't really have anything to talk about because the plot was so by the numbers, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it sounds like I'm saying that as a bad thing, but it's not. It's perfectly serviceable. Like if this was the kind of movie that back in the old days when we watched network and had cable and just one TV bill, we wouldn't see this in the theater because we could tell by the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what we have HBO for.
Yeah.
This mid-level kind of movie, which is great. But now mid-level movies in the theater don't do anything. No. I don't even remember if this went to theatrical because it came out.
It did.
It came out Came out before the coronavirus, didn't it?
Yeah. I remember I went theatrical, but I don't think it stayed in there long. I think maybe like a
It
month.
wasn't well received. Usually, I look up on Box Office Mojo like what the run was, and sometimes I look at how many theaters, because that makes a big difference. Like
Yeah.
if you're number one on half the theaters of all the other blockbusters, that's more impressive than
Yeah.
just being number one.
Mhm.
I looked up Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
It only dropped 38% the second week, which is pretty impressive. Usually, blockbusters drop half or
Yeah.
a little more. So 38 is a giant win. But I'm like, okay, what if it doubled its screens though, right? Because everybody gets it now. It only added 70 screens. It was like 4,070 to 4,200.
Yeah.
So that's not that big a jump to account for an extra 20% against expected. So once you start looking at stuff like that,
Yeah.
then it's like, well, maybe a second movie does make sense.
Yeah.
If it performs weirdly like that. But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still need to see that. I wanted to see that opening weekend, but that was like what, weekend of MegaCon?
Yeah, I mean, there's a movie like that, it's going to be in the theater for a while. I really recommend, this is me saying it, so I'm in the tank for space movies, but this is a pretty good example of the form. And if you should spend a couple extra bucks. I know you're broke and everything, but if you do go in, or somebody owes you a favor, make them buy you a ticket to the IMAX,
Yeah.
because a lot of it is in space.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work on your phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we saw it in a decent sized theater, and it was like, oh man, this is great, the scope. But if we were in IMAX, this would just kill it. There's some cool stuff, man. Like a lot of their shit, they did practical. Some of the stuff you think is just all CG, it's not. They built sets and hung them upside down on wires and
Yeah.
put him in a spacesuit, right? It's not a stuntman because they're in on his face, right? So I don't know. I collect spacesuits, right? I got a couple.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I've worn those things for a while. I was in the Mission to Mars one for about an hour and a half. And then I started to lose it because I'm kind of mildly claustrophobic, right?
Right.
And so you're sealed off of everything, and you can look out and see people. And I had air; I wasn't suffocating.
Right.
I could lights and shit, and I just started to get weirded out. Until I was like, well, what's going to happen if I have to like rub my face? And it's like, you can't. And then it becomes like, well, now my eyebrow's itching. No, your eyebrow's not itching. Like, even if that means anything, right? You can't hit it. So now it's the only thing you can think about. And so I popped the helmet, right? But think about it, that's your job now, right? And they've built this long thing out of pipes that's representing like a portion of your spaceship. And you're upside down on wires, wearing a suit, like blocked off from everybody. And all they're doing is whipping you down the length of this thing at about 15 miles an hour, which is really fast when you're upside down. Like,
Yeah.
think about being in a some kind of street carnival thing, and they're whipping you around, right? So the cool thing is he had a microphone, and the guy that was doing the voice and performance for Rocky, because that thing was mostly a big puppet, would talk to him, and the director would talk to him. But that's it, man. So you're like, might as well be in space talking to Earth, right?
Right.
Because whoever's talking to you, they're over there. Is it like 10 yards away, or is it like 60 million miles? Doesn't matter, because you're by yourself. And that really makes that movie work. So none of that is going on in Chips, because all they have to do is point the camera outside and get a couple of guys on motorcycles and go back and forth and play the music, and that's 3/4 of the movie, right?
Oh yeah.
And so it's going to be funny, like the level of movies that we check here. It's like, oh, Randall finally watched this dumb piece of shit, right? Or Larry finally watched Three Amigos, and he would have loved it in the 80s, and now he thinks his ass. That's a completely different thing from the guys that are like, 750 people worked on this, and all of them bought houses and condos because they were getting paid for this movie.
Yeah.
Now you have to go see it. Same thing happens on with CHiPs, right? But except Ryan Gosling's got a new house, and he's going, I'm only making movies for my little girls now. So go see this one because it's really heartwarming.
Yeah.
And if you liked Barbie, you'll like this one. I'm Space Ken. Like literally, you can see all the meetings he had with his management.
Yeah.
But Zach is like that. It's the exact opposite. This is my dream. I have to do this. John was missing, a backstory, and Punch is really an FBI guy. Instead of just making them cops and go take care of, some cute girl in a bikini who's got her toe stuck in the bathtub, which is what all of CHiPs was,
Yeah.
They try to like blow it up to theatrical, and it does a disservice to the charm of the show. But and this is where it hits modern Star Trek. If you call that fucking movie anything else, we'd be on the 5th one right now. Because I really think Zach is super charming. I think
you mean Dax?
Michael Pena, Zach Shepard. What did I say? I meant Zach Shepard. He's really charming. Michael Pena is fucking killing it. And if it was called, John and Punch, like or anything, Steve and Mark, Larry and Randall on wheels, just anything else, I think that movie would have been good, successful. I mean, commercially successful, and not the big yawner that it ended up being. And that's why I really feel for that guy. And I actually started listening to his podcast because of this. I'm like, well, that guy really cared. Let's see if he cares about stuff. And his podcast is really good.
Yeah, no, I
see called armchair quarterback or something, armchair genius, something with armchairs.
Yeah, something like that. I see. I see. I see clips of it. Like, I don't think I've seen anything. Like everything I've seen with Dax Shepard in it. Like, I mildly enjoy it. It's. I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen, or he's like my favorite guy. I think what it is I think I like him better as a person than I do as a performer, but I like both.
I literally can't think of anything besides he was the grown-up boy astronaut in Zathura, and
I haven't seen that one.
He was excellent. Well, you want to watch that? It's kind of a kids movie, but it's Jon Favreau, his first directing thing, and you can tell he's figuring out special effects and stuff.
I think he directed Maid,
the first special effects movie.
Oh, special, yeah.
Where he's figuring out the Iron Man thing and the Lion King. He did the live action Lion King thing. That's the one that everybody gives him credit for figuring out the special effects. But the whole workflow thing, it was that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I paid attention to it. It's
Well, no, I mean, I remember. Oh man, it's another one of those movies. Like, I remember when it came out. I remember seeing the trailers for it, and I remember thinking to myself, I want to see this movie. And I just never got around to seeing it. It was Space Jumanji, and I loved the Jumanji film with Robin Williams back in the 90s.
Yes.
And so it was just one of those things. Like, yeah, I would have loved to have seen it. And I'm sure I will still enjoy it because I enjoy.
It's pretty timeless.
Cowboys and Aliens.
Wait. Let me just tell you that your exact experience of following Zathura was mine too, except I got to the point where it's Space Jumanji. I didn't go, it's just Space Jumanji. I'll get around to it. I went, it's fucking Space Jumanji. I gotta go, and it was great. Space Jumanji. Yeah. It is exactly Space Jumanji. So if you like Jumanji, you're gonna like this because it's Jumanji, except in space.
Yeah. You know what would really be hilarious is if they got Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart to make a sequel to Zathura. Right.
I don't think Dwayne Johnson is really allowed to make movies anymore, right? Didn't Black Adam and then his wrestling
No,
movie,
no, he had
those sucked
the
so bad.
Smashing Machine or whatever, like,
Yeah,
that he got
yeah.
great reviews for that.
Did
They're
he?
already filming another Jumanji
It
film.
made $2, right? I mean, that movie tanked.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that movie is more, art movies don't, not all, well, some of the art,
It's a wrestling art
The
movie.
Oscar films are the ones who bank a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So,
I just thought it was really funny that The Rock, old Dewey, put all of his reputation on Black Adam, and it fucking evaporated. And his response was, "Well, I'm gonna do a critic-proof movie and just act my balls off." And he did. God bless him.
yep.
And nobody cared. It's not what we want, Dewey.
I think the acting community cared. I mean, I've seen
So
other
what? Oh, who's he impressing? Other actors? That doesn't.
Yeah,
So what? You're not getting more jobs because of that. You're not paying
he
for your.
could.
No, absolutely not, man.
He's got Emily Blunt in his
Put that
corner.
in any other industry, and you'll see why that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, oh, are you trying to impress other EPS guys? Are you trying to impress other comic book artists? Are you trying to impress other
Rich people
dentists?
impressing other rich people? That's the only medium I think that where it works.
Okay, but nobody's impressing rich people by putting out a shitty movie and then berating people into trying to watch it because it's going to win you an award. That's not what movies are. You're impressing rich people. All right, rich people don't go to movies.
There was
They
one.
pay
I'm trying to
for them.
remember who the actor was, but they said that they
I don't know, I'm just
watched.
being old.
They said that they watched one of the scenes that he was performing in that movie, and that actor was just like, "Oh my god! Like, this is the greatest thing that I've seen you do." And like, so the whole, like, the art of it, the appreciation, the compliments, the respect, all that stuff, that comes with it. Like, I can't remember which actor it was, but they were just like really hands down complimenting Dwayne Johnson for his performance. And part of me was just thinking like, wow, like, good for Dwayne. Like, here
was there a part of you that thought, hey, this guy's a professional actor, so I don't believe anything he's saying because it's his job to make me believe something that's not true?
I mean, when I see people in interviews,
I'm just trying to talk you out of trying to impress other people.
Yeah.
Because that's no reason to do anything. Like, let Dwayne do that, but I want to make sure my friend Randall is not working his balls off because of what other people think. You should work your balls off because you have pride in your work.
Because you want to do it, yeah.
And you got to take care of your mom. And all, you're doing your responsibilities and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Impressing rich people, just other rich people because they're rich, is a great way to end up with Black Adam. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the fucking Black Superman. Idris Elba thinks he's the Black Superman, but it's me. And then I'm gonna make everybody do it by dint of my personality. And it's like,
yeah. I think the problem, Dwayne Johnson waited too long to do this movie. Timing, just like anything else in life, I think is important. And had he had made that movie 8 to 5 years earlier, who knows? I think it would have been a lot better. It would have been more popular. Dwayne's been known for a small period of his time. He's known as like the guy who, like, oh, I'm going to revive franchises. I'm the guy who, you put me in this and it's going to be a big hit, So like, he helped with the making Fast and the Furious popular again. He helped with, like, his G.I. Joe sequel was better than the first G.I. Joe movie.
Agreed.
And so
it wasn't because of him, though. It was because of Eric's sister and Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
He was great, though. Don't get me wrong. He was great. I love him as Roadblock. He was great. Here's the thing, though. I just want to tie it into Zach Shepard, because Zach was doing the same thing, not being at least The Rock. You get why he was believing his own press, because there was so much of it, right?
Yeah.
And so, okay, he starts nodding his head, and okay, I'm the fucking badass. I'm gonna start throwing my weight around, and then he gets a little humbled by the critical response. Poor Zach Shepard, did he did the same thing, but from the opposite direction. He's like, oh, I believe in this so much. I love this so much. I've got the juice for it. I'm going to make everybody happy with this. Here's my lovely baby. And everybody goes, yeah, your baby's ugly. And goes and does something else, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of worse, I think. That would be worse if, from my point of view.
Sure.
I could deal with the Rock thing because it'd be like, oh, well, I just overstepped and I started believing my own press. That's easier to recover from. Like, I'm putting all my chips on. This is what I believe. And everybody goes, well, we don't. You know, that's a rough one. So I feel bad for old Zach. But it made me really interested in the next thing he's going to do. And I hope somebody lets him do it. Because now that he's got that commercial shit out of his system, I want to see the Zach Shepard movie. Like when, it wasn't Josh Gad, but it was somebody like that. The guy from I never remember this comedian's name. The guy from the Ping Pong movie, not Fists of Fury, something of Fury, Balls of Fury.
Yeah.
You ever see that? Who's the guy with the long hair?
I love it.
In that?
Oh, the main guy, Randy Daytona.
Yeah. He did a movie with Kristen.
He was in like the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Yeah. He did a movie. I mean, he did a movie called Fanboys with Kristen Bell. Yep. Walking around in a Princess Leia thing the whole time. That's what I want to see from Dax. Am I saying his name wrong? Chris just said Dax. I guess I keep saying something different. I know.
Keep saying
Zach Shepard. All right. Well, everybody, I know it's Dax. I don't know a Zach Shepard. Sometimes that happens. I just know somebody named.
We were talking about Zach Braff, so I think you got it. Like you literally. Oh,
that's probably exactly.
You merged the two of them. You did the amalgam.
Got my wires crossed. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Man, I never made those mistakes back when I was drinking. I would just power through. I don't know if Jungle Cruise impressed rich people. It was my favorite live-action Disney film, not called The Black Hole. Well, Timothy Conley, that's why we're friends. Like, who the fuck says The Black Hole is their favorite Disney movie? Even I wouldn't say that. Although, have you seen The Black Hole, man?
I have.
Okay, shit. Because that's a good one, man. Because that movie's pretty fucking trippy.
Oh, I have the soundtrack. Like, I love the music in that movie too.
I just like to apologize to everybody, and not least, but to Dax Shepard himself. I was saying his name wrong. Sorry. Huh. Is there a movie like that where it's just like you think it's something and it turns out to be something different? Zach Shepard's Dr. Fate. Yeah, okay. Everybody's going to make fun of me forever. And plus I spell Zach Shepard with a K. Although we shouldn't. We should spell it with an H because that's the alternate universe where his parents named him Zach instead.
I was waiting for you to call him Zax.
Zachary.
Z-A-X. Zax. Zach
Shepard. That's kind of hard to say with the S.
Yeah.
Anyway. Wow, that was a diversion. I started talking a little early because I've been talking for 2 weeks. You missed the beginning, but I was saying, I don't know why we skipped 2 weeks for this one because this movie is not that great, but it was just scheduling. Like you had your thing going, and I had my things, Walker's grandfather's thing. But so I've been thinking for 2 weeks, like, what's the next movie? So that's why I sort of brought it up so soon. I can't really think of anything that I was going to say Zach again. I can't think of anything that he's in.
Yeah, he's
unless
not in too many movies.
Do you want to watch The Thrower? Because I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'm down for it. It's long overdue.
Maybe sometimes, maybe Chris or Tim will give us something. There's 4 people here. Who else? Maybe Tony's here. Tell us to watch Radon and Tebby or something. Is there anything you got that you feel like watching? Don't say Tenet.
We've already seen Tenet.
I know. I was just giving you a hard time. I'm being pretty chill today. If you'll, I was gonna say realize. If do you observe? I'm not giving you a hard time like usual. I'm like, I want Randall to come back and do it. Force 10 from Navarone. This is Chris's joke movie. Like, we should just do Force 10 from Navarone. Just It's not a good war movie. Harrison Ford's in it. Oh wait,
Oh,
is
is
he in that? Uncommon Valor. That's not a bad one. Hey, have you seen Withnail and I?
what's it called again?
Withnail, Withnal, and I. It's
No.
like this. It's this really good British movie. And it keeps coming up, and I've never seen it. And it's a cool like film noir kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
really it's like a Guy Ritchie movie, but like 20 years before. And it stars some killer guys. I think it's like Hugh Laurie and I don't know. Let's look it up. But
Okay.
whenever I talk to one of my British friends, they're like, "You would love Withnail and I." It's from 1987, a black comedy about two unemployed actors who go on a disastrous holiday in the Lake District, based on the novel. Oh, okay. Richard Grant and Paul McGann. That's why people keep talking to me about it. Richard Grant is the old classic Loki in Loki season 2. You know, that
Oh
British
yeah,
actor.
yeah. I always remember him from the Bruce Willis movie,
Which one?
Hudson Hawk.
Oh, okay. Yes, that Richard E. Grant. And Paul McGann, who's the 8th Doctor Who. And so that's why it keeps coming up. A couple of genre actors I love. And people, my British friends, can't believe I haven't seen it. So let's fucking scratch that one off the list.
Okay.
It's let me see if I can get like a little thing about the plot. It's Grant's film debut, which is cool.
Okay.
And so it's from what year did I say? 1987. But it takes place in 1969. So you get that cool, like, you know, mod British things. Okay.
Let me ask,
I think we should do it if we can do
oh,
it.
yeah, I mean, if it's available, if I can find it.
If it's available. Let's look. It should be.
Have you seen The Maze Runner?
No, and what? I like girls, man. I'm not a teenage I'm not a teenage girl.
I
What?
bet you, because it's a sci-fi film. I bet you
It's a
you'll be
young adult
surprised
movie.
at how much you like this movie.
What are you basing that on? What is it about the Maze Runner
It's a
that
gut
makes you think
feeling, man. It's just one of
I'm
the
gonna like it? The
because like
cast is a bunch of idiots, right? It's a young adult dystopian story, so that's stupid. There's like, it's dude. There's just nothing about that. I'm mildly insulted that you think I'm gonna like Maze Runner. It's on HBO Max. Do you have HBO?
yeah.
There you go. HBO Max. I think it says it's everywhere. Where to watch on the movie phone?
Well, that means it might not be true.
Oh, well, that's why I'm putting that out there.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, it's HBO Max, but buy on Apple, Amazon. Yeah, HBO. It's also on the Criterion Channel. It's a good movie, man. Okay, that's cool. Let's Fucking Chris is killing it. Maze Runner. So because we are of a certain age,
Yeah.
that girl, that woman on that ad is when I was like, yes, I like girls. You call it corn. We call it maze. Oh my god. I almost want to get that picture. Anyway, well, let's I don't know. What do you think? You have any more to say about Chips? Did you enjoy it at least?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Man, I tell you one thing though, man. Like, the goal was last night to watch the movie,
Uh-oh.
and I was so tired
So wait, you had 3 weeks to watch this movie and you just did it like this morning?
this morning. Yeah, and
I watched it so long ago, I kind of forgot it.
I woke up like 7 in the morning, and I was just like, and I was like, okay, how long is this movie? Okay, it's an hour and 40 minutes. I'm like, okay, if I watch it by this time, by the time the movie's done, I should have a little bit of time to get ready for work and then head to work.
Okay.
Let's just say I was so tired last night that my work shirt, my work uniform, I
Uh-oh.
was still wearing it when I woke up this morning.
Oh, you just fell asleep in your clothes.
And then by the time I finished the
You poor
movie,
bastard.
I was like, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna have enough time."
Yeah,
I don't think I'm
that's the woman. You call it corn. We call it maize.
amazed.
So this woman made me go, I cheekbones is the thing I like, I guess. And I don't know what's going on here, but
And nice hair.
I want this woman to explain it to me. And I must have been about 8 or something. All right. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. So my work shirt, I fell asleep. I woke up this morning. I put on chips. I finished it. I watched it. I looked at the watch or phone to see what time it was.
Your clock,
And
wherever it is.
yeah, and I realized, oh, I have maybe 5 or 10 minutes to get ready for work. I'm not going to have time to take a shower. So
But it's UPS, so
I literally just threw in
nobody's
my
really
pants.
going to notice.
Yeah, I literally told my manager, I when I got to work, he's like, "Do you see what I'm wearing right now? I wore this yesterday, and I have not stopped wearing it."
Right, and not for a good reason. Like I
And not
went
for a
to
good
some
reason,
hot
yeah.
girls thing, and that's all I could put back on. No, I'm so tired. I fell asleep in my fucking shit.
Yeah.
So hopefully your boss just went, "Hey man, here's $20. Go take a nap."
No, I mean, she laughed. I mean, like I make her laugh, quite a bit. Like I made a joke early. It's funny. I always catch her when she's drinking, and like she's done 3 or 4 spit takes. I would say something, and I catch her off guard.
She's not a
And
MILF that's after you, is she?
no,
I always catch her when she's drinking. I'm like, what's in the box, boss lady? Come on. What can Brown do for you, right?
No,
Right?
I told her about something that happened, and I told her something that I wanted to say to this person.
Okay.
And she was like, she did the spit take, and then she's just like, "Damn it, I'm gonna have to mop that up."
Oh my God.
So it's like, I was like, unintentionally, I was just
That's
like,
you just bringing that added value to work.
yeah.
It's a tough job, but at least we can have some laughs.
Yeah.
Much like what you do here, Randall. I really appreciate it. Come in, talk about nonsense with your buddy.
Oh, dude, I
you don't
mean,
have time.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go through all of this for anybody.
Do you want to do another like backup movie then?
Yeah, let's do a backup movie just in case.
Right. Pull out one of your things and say it, because I can just watch with Nail and I on my own.
Have you seen Jack the Giant Slayer?
No, I don't even know what that is.
So Nicholas Hoult plays Jack, and I guess it's sort of a take on the Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh my God, why would we watch this? The whole conceit of this show,
because of Nicholas Hoult,
is that these are awesome movies that you have somehow not been able to watch.
Yeah,
like I'm not saying that Jack the Giant Slayer isn't in with like Tenet, and
or do you want to do a Nicolas Cage movie?
Well, didn't we just do Drive Angry?
Yeah, but that was like how many movies ago?
I don't know. It just seems like there's so many movies, man, that we shouldn't be doubling up if we don't have to.
Okay.
What Nicolas Cage movie are you thinking about? He does have a ton of them.
Yeah, I have that 25 film massive collection of Nicolas Cage, and I'm looking through there to see what I haven't seen.
I think I like Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Cage, and I don't really dig him in movies because he's just always doing his "I'm so fucking crazy" thing that he does, and it's like I get it, but it has to be in service of awesomeness, Like I watched this weird movie. There was just nothing coming out, and there was a Nicolas Cage movie where he's just a dad, and the whole conceit of the movie is that aliens show up at the end, or it's heaven or something. I didn't really understand.
Was it Knowing?
Yes. Yeah. I just liked the movie poster. I thought the movie poster was cool, and it's Nicolas Cage. And I went to see it, and I'm like, this is really obtuse. So I don't even really have I don't like this movie thing. I don't understand what
I know what we can watch. I know what we can watch that I think you'll approve. Bullet.
Oh yeah, man. Let's watch Bullet. That was easy.
Yeah.
I think Nicolas Cage is in Bullet too. The house that he lives in San Francisco in the movie for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
Did you hear they finally sold the Action #1 from his collection? That
Oh yeah. Wasn't that like the most recent one that sold? I
yeah,
think
yeah, that was from the Nicolas Cage collection. I was like,
was it like 5 million or something like that?
something like that. But I just thought it was cool. It was like you not only do you get
Yeah.
to own a Superman number, first appearance of Superman, but it was Nicolas Cage's. I think that's cool.
What's interesting is, and this was back when I worked at Demolition Comics. This was maybe 15 years ago. There was a customer that came in because he's like, "Hey, I ordered this book online," and he's like, "You want to hear something interesting?" I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "I just bought some random comic book online that I needed to add to my collection, and when I got it, I opened up the package. He's like, he's looking at the comic to make sure it's like in good condition, all that stuff, right?" And yeah. And he flipped the back of it, and it said that one particular comic that he bought was part of the Nicolas Cage collection that was sold.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Did
So,
they
I mean,
write it on the back cover in pen?
Yeah. But I mean, even if it's not like an expensive book, right? How cool is it to have just any book?
This probably happened to you a few times because you worked in shops over the years, but all the time we buy collections from people.
Yeah.
And so at Comics Experience, it was great. He'd buy comics by the pound.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care what's in here. If there's something good, I'm giving you 50 cents a pound. So a long box was around $30 usually, right?
Yeah.
But people will be like, you take the top off and go, oh man, these are all bagged and boarded. I gotta take off 10% for the weight there because we're just gonna take those out and throw them away and rebag them. And they're like, why would you do that? Because we don't know what you used here, right? This is representing our store, so we're doing acid-free backing boards and inert bags and shit. So, you can go back home and fill this up with more stuff and throw out all your trash. So I don't have to. But no matter what, it's gonna be 50 cents a pound. Yeah. So that was great because people would either go, thank God I'm getting $30 for this box of nonsense, which it usually was. But at a quarter a book or 50 cents a book, it eventually turns into something. So it's like a little feature that they used to do. They don't do anymore. Nobody sells back issues really. The current, you go back 6 months, nobody keeps back issues in San Francisco. Isn't that bizarre?
Oh, you mean like nobody keeps like new books like that came out 6 months ago?
No, about to then. That's about what you have. The 6 months back.
Yeah.
But like there's no if you're looking for ROM 43, you're just out of luck.
Well, it's funny. The popular thing I'm noticing, semi-popular thing, is you have comic book shop owners. They're kind of trying to do away with new comics. They only want to sell old comics.
What?
Yeah. There is a shop here in Florida, in Brandon, called Urban Legend. Huh?
How does that work?
Well, you got to find your audience. You got to find the people that are interested in older books.
Sure. I mean, you can do it if you're doing it by appointment or something, but there's nothing to drive foot traffic if you don't have new stuff.
You'd be surprised, man. Urban Legends Comics, this dude, he's known as the back issue store.
Yeah, right on.
And there's all these people that they're just not interested in new comics. I think a chunk of it also is Greg is great because like he cuts deals with people. So he'll have like a key issue and he's like, oh, I'll hook you up. I'll get you a discount. I'll get you a deal. Right.
That's you.
And then
never saw the line box I didn't love. Nice
yeah.
job.
And so he what he has to do though, in order to keep the people interested is he has to keep buying collections, because all the people
that's how he drives his foot traffic.
Yeah.
Are there collections to constantly buy though? So there's like a new comics collections day.
He drives out of state. He drives out. Actually, he told me one time, and this would happen during COVID. He emptied out his bank account. He's like, I only had like $20 in my bank account. I emptied everything out. He took a huge risk, and he bought a Golden Age collection. Okay. And so when he brought the Golden Age books in, obviously it sold well. He's like, it all worked out great. So that's his thing is like people know him. Like I had one of my friends, she was asking for Indiana Jones comics.
Oh,
And I'm like, I told her I have some, but I told her you're better off going to this store and getting some, because by the time I find it and get it to you, it will probably have been months, versus this guy probably already has them organized or already there. Now, granted, the way he works now, I wouldn't want to do that, but he works like 12-hour days, and
but
he
that's all
only
he does, I bet, right?
that's it. That's his life, man. That's his life. He works on comics 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's it.
Me too. I'm doing that
Oh
right
no,
now.
you have a wife, you have a kid, all that
As you
stuff.
talk, man. Look, let's see. I can't show you, but there's like you can see this at all. Anyway, just getting ready for San Diego, man.
Okay, sweet.
This is the one time a year I do something from like February to June.
Nice.
I will crush 4 books, maybe 5.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But anyway, she was looking for Indiana Jones comics, and I said go to Urban Legends Comics. That's the I tell everybody, like, that's the back issue store. You're looking for a back issue. If if it's something specific, you have a greater shot at going to that store and finding it there. And so she messaged me back recently, and she's like, "Hey, I took your advice. I went there. We found 3 books." And she's like, my friend or kid or whatever, she's excited, so happy to have those books.
So where's that? Is that a store in Tampa as well?
Tampa area, specifically Brandon.
Okay, I don't know.
The city of Brandon.
Must be. Let me guess. It's southwest of you.
Let me see. Well, I'm in South Tampa, so I'd say it's a little bit northeast.
Northeast. Okay, so the opposite.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. All right, man. We hit an hour. I think that's pretty cool. Urban Legends, I guess. Way to go.
Yeah.
Go there and get your back issue needs. Go there and buy all the Cable 60s you can, because that's the first appearance of Larry Young.
What's it called?
Cable number 60 by Ladron and Joe Casey.
Yeah.
Cable.
Yeah. Cable. Okay.
Number 60 is the first appearance of Larry Young, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Yeah. Last appearance is Deathlock 12. Actually, that's not true. Because there was some kind of like mini called Day of Judgment or some generic name where Larry Young's body got too old and died, and the Deathlock with his brain in it.
It sounds like there needs to be an ultimate Larry Young.
I don't see that happen. Maybe if Walker ends up editor-in-chief of Marvel and he thinks it's funny to like bring me back to life and kill me again.
Yeah.
But it'll be way after I'm not here to see it. Like
you
and Chris will be like, how did this happen? Oh, look who's running Marvel.
Or maybe you'll make your DC debut and it'll be absolute Larry Young.
I already I lettered something for Derek, so I actually have DC credits.
Nice.
That's pretty funny. All right, man. We'll do Bullet. And I won't shut up about it because it takes place in San Francisco. San Francisco, that is sadly gone.
Yeah.
You'll see. When I'm talking about, hey, the Embarcadero's not here. Maybe we should get Chris on too. You know how Steve jumps in every once in a while?
Yeah.
We should get Sagasag in to talk about the Bullet one, because he's lived here his whole life.
Oh, I'm sure he's got info.
The geography is much different.
Yeah.
He probably, I don't know. I shouldn't speak for him. I like talking a lot more. I remember Chris came on one time and this is what he did. Yeah, you're right. He was at work though, I think. So I don't know.
Oh well, yeah. He doesn't.
I don't know.
Work, right?
I'll call him up and we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
See if he wants to, or if he just wants you to do it. I don't know. All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Pleasure. Gonna go. I'm gonna make a New York strip for dinner.
Nice. I'm gonna finish my McDonald's.
Same thing. Oh, I should probably end stream.